Okay, cool. We're back again after a couple of weeks hiatus. Today we're going to discuss heroes and villains. So, going to kick it off with the first question. Best hero within a TV show that you have watched. I might as well just go first while I'm at it. So, I have chosen, in terms of TV shows and a hero, I couldn't think past anyone but Jack Bauer, to be honest with you. Um, Obviously, from a previous podcast about favorite TV shows, 24 was my favorite TV show. But I'm just thinking back in terms of trying to, obviously pick a hero and what they do. For me, obviously, Jack Bauer, trying to save his country, trying to save people, fight against time, the whole stick that the whole show was about. Yeah, I couldn't really look past him. There was a few others, but when it comes to an actual TV show, you got your generic heroes, but which he was, but I had to go with Jack Bauer. Couldn't really think past him. What about you,
Yeah.
McSweeney?
But it won't surprise you. I've gone with the same.
Oh,
I,
have you?
I don't know about Tom's yet, but I've got a feeling this might a full house here. But yeah, just the sort of tireless wanting to look out for the greater good, and that obviously meant that a lot of time he was going against authority as well.
Mm.
And I think that's something that the viewer kind of can understand a bit more so than say the characters themselves, because it's like, look, he's in the right pickle here, and he needs to do something. If
Mm.
that means breaking the law or doing certain things which aren't ethically right in order to achieve a great good of stopping a nuclear bomb from going off, or some sort of nerve gas, or some sort of virus being released, or whatever it is that's going on. I think with him, like his charisma, the way that he just he looks indestructible, but he also shows a lot of vulnerability. I don't know if you guys remember, it was the end of the third series where he just broke down the car.
I don't know. Obviously, he had his drug problems, didn't he? He was using. Wasn't that part of when he had to? No, in the first episode of season one,
Yeah,
he had that needle thingy, didn't he? Well, I don't know, I can't remember off the top of my head where that came from. But then season three or four, he was undercover within that cartel or something, wasn't it? And
yeah,
then for that,
yeah,
he had to end up using again. So he did have his drug issues as well.
yeah. Because I thought that was when he was undercover with the Salazars, wasn't it? And I think
So
that's how
yeah, yeah, that
he
was
got
it.
hooked.
Yeah, yeah, that was
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So, but like the end of so Tom, you've seen quite a few series, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I've done a whole lot, yeah.
Yeah. So we've all seen. You've done a whole lot. I've done a whole lot. We've just done a whole lot. The end of the third series is when he is it the guy that they're chasing him down. They're trying to I think it's the bomb. It's not the bomb guy. It's nerve gas, is it? Nerve gas. And
Mm.
basically, yeah, he ends up chopping off Chase Edmonds' arm, isn't he? Because it's stuck on his arm. The actual bomb itself is like just he can't get it off. So he has to basically to take off his mate's limb, put it
Mm.
in some sort of a container, and then I think at the end of that day, he just breaks down. He just starts crying in the car on himself by himself because he's gone through all that ordeal, which is obviously ridiculous and far fetched. But just that the whole experience of that was like, yeah, this guy is actually human. He's not completely robotic, or he's not a
Yeah,
cyborg,
yeah.
is he? He's and his family as well with Kim and his wife in the first series and Audrey Raines, all the rest of it. Well, he does have that sort of human side to him, and that's what I love about him. It's not just the kicking ass and taking names; it's that as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
Jack Bauer for me.
yeah. Yeah, to be honest, like, with him as an actor, yeah, but that is, I guess, one of his criticisms. He's very robotic, he's very plain, doesn't show any emotion, He gets, but for that actual role, that's what you sort of want. It suits it perfectly. But then, yeah, as you mentioned, in those moments where he does show a bit of vulnerability or a bit of emotion, then it just obviously goes to show he is human after all, and he's not just a robotic, boring actor. But
Yeah,
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 he just played the role so fucking well. So yeah,
yeah, superb.
Timothy, your selection, please.
Much like Haaland's playing against a non-league team, it is of course going to be a hat trick. I went for Jack Bauer as well. I couldn't think of anyone else, to be honest. it was a bit of a struggle, and of recent memory, he was the one that I could think of. I mean, he's very much, like Simon said, a kick ass now and then take names later kind of guy. When we were introduced to him the first time round, I think like the first few episodes, he was like an on-call kind of guy. Like he received a call, came in, cracked on, but then him like landing a plane when there's like a nuclear bomb on board, and trying to save the president from like an assassination, and he was just a nutter. Like the amount of shit that he was doing, it took him to his theories 3, like Simon said, to actually break down into tears. I would be broken down to tears in the first 5 minutes of doing his job. I mean, that's the shit that he does is just nuts. It's ridiculous. He's Donald Sutherland? No, Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because he was like a predominantly young actor when he was doing quite a few films. He did, oh my God, that film with Samuel L. Jackson and Matthew McConaughey, early, late 90s, mid 90s. Basically, it's like a film about rednecks. He did that. He did another film. I think it's like a vampire film. Can't remember now. Oh my God, my brain. But then he also did a program that he was kind of a hero in as well. Was the Designated Survivor? Have you guys watched that before?
Some of that, yeah. Have you seen that much?
I started it. I think I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, but then I just I didn't get hooked on it, so I sort of stopped. But it was you who mentioned it to me, Tom. I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't get into it really.
Yeah, it's very much. It's kind of like the anti him, but then he kind of turns out the hero because he was kind of thrown into a situation that he didn't expect to happen, and then he then runs the country, and then he becomes the leader of the free world, as all the Americans say about their president. So he fits into it so well. People start to like respect him and so on and so forth. But yeah, other than maybe Rick from like The Walking Dead, and I will get back onto The Walking Dead shortly. Other than that, there was no like he wasn't even a hero because he was a bit of a pussy. Again, I'll get back onto that later. But he did what he had to do in the end. But in a few moments where you needed him to kind of stand up and be a leader and to be a hero, he was a pussy. But anyway, that's my hero.
Oh well, it was 3 for 3. We chose the same person, so but I can guarantee none of you will have the same villain as me. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah.
So my villain is going to be from Neighbours of all the TV shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you're definitely not going to have the same one. So I've gone for a guy called Finn Kelly in Neighbours. I wanted to be a bit think outside the box as well with this one. Basically, obviously, you guys know I used to fucking love Neighbours. I'd watch it every day when I come home. There was a long-running joke about it. You know, I was a bit of a saddo. I used to like watch Neighbours, blah blah blah. Yeah, you guys know I've obviously watched it for donkey's years. And there was a guy in there called Finn Kelly who was just such an evil bastard. But I sort of loved the whole villain thing. So I like the bad guy. So. Every episode he was in, and whenever he did something evil, I used to fucking love it. And some of his storylines were really bloody dark. Considering Neighbours is more or less like a family show, well, sort of. You can mix it. You can compare with other soaps like EastEnders and stuff. EastEnders is more adult, I'd say. It's not really for kids. Whereas Neighbours, they had the school, they had the kids. There was loads of characters who were teenagers and stuff. So it was a bit of a mix. But yeah, this guy was just so bloody evil, and they took him away. They made him good again. Then they made him evil again. They brought him back, and the way they killed him, you might not remember, but they did a couple of shows in Neighbours where it was like Neighbours Dark or something, and they released episodes, like at 9 p.m. or something. And he was part of that storyline where they actually finally killed him off. So yeah, I mean, I can't really go into detail because you guys haven't watched it, but yeah, he was really a bloody an evil guy, and in terms of being a villain, he played that role perfectly. So for me, I'm going to go for him, Mr. Finn Kelly from Neighbours.
Was he like a serial killer then?
Did he actually kill anyone? That's a very good question. He put me on the spot. I
tormented
don't.
the community. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he did actually kill. Well, he might have. I can't remember, man, because I haven't watched it in so long. But yeah, he was just such an evil bastard. That's the best way to describe him. But he just his facial expressions, the way he played the role, the way the actor, I can't remember his name, Rob something, Rob Mills, that's it, the Australian actor, the way he played the role of that character, he was just so bloody good. I mean, full credit to him for the way he played it. But yeah, he just played it so bloody well. And I remember looking forward to his scenes and looking forward to what he's going to do. And he made me enjoy uh, Neighbours itself so much more because of the way he was playing that role. So yeah, it's him for me. What about
I
you,
thought you
McSweeney?
would have gone for like a Paul Robinson. Was
No,
he
no,
a
no.
bit of
But
a
with
villain?
Paul, no, but with Paul Robinson, he came back and they long time ago they said, oh yeah, the reason he's evil and he's bad is because he had some brain problem, so they gave him an operation. Then he became good again.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then they made him good again, and then he was on and off. He was just a bit of a dick, but he was never a villain, if you get what I mean. People didn't like him because of his stingy and stuff like
Yeah.
this, but he was never a full-on villain, apart from his
Well, a
early
bit like
days.
Ian Bill, like just
No,
irritant.
no, no, Ian Bill isn't even a villain. He's just a weasel.
He
You
is,
can't compare.
but
I
he's an
mean, when I'm
arsehole as
thinking,
well. He can be an arsehole.
yeah, he can be, but I've never termed Ian Bill as a villain. I mean, if you want to think villain in terms of EastEnders, you're looking at the likes of fucking Trevor back in the day,
Oh
and
yeah,
Little Mo and all that stuff. Even more recently, that Nish guy.
yeah.
He you can class as a villain, but yeah, but for me, yeah, it's got to be the Finn Kelly geezer. Like I said, he was just on another
Yeah.
level of evil. Yeah, McSweeney, your selection, please.
I think people will appreciate this, and actually, it didn't take me long to think of it, and it's going to be Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon,
Oh,
that
okay.
character, and saw the documentary last year when it was released, and I thought this is going to be brilliant because it will just try to someone that doesn't really watch wrestling or hasn't watched wrestling down the years with this character that might have heard about it. It's like you watch it and you actually probably you know so much about how the Mr. McMahon character and Vince McMahon are actually fairly closely aligned
Mm,
in terms of upbringing that. But I think he's got to be my favourite villain because even from like the whole situation with Stone Cold, which basically catapulted him into that whole persona. That was a bit before my time, but by the time I started watching it around about 2000, he'd be very sort of quick to side with whoever he thought was going to be um, the more sort of powerful character, like whether it's The Rock or Triple H or whoever it was. Even Stone Cold actually at WrestleMania, the second year I was watching it, WrestleMania 17, it was like there's a massive heel turn here for Stone Cold because he's now teamed up with a guy he used to absolutely hate and
mm,
arch nemesis basically. But with Vince McMahon in general, you just sort of see him as this like overprivileged, overbearing personal authority, and I think a lot of people, particularly like the audience, could relate to that because he was so quick to screw people over, or even a situation with Bret Hart as well, Montreal screw job. That
yeah,
that was a real life thing in the end. So
yeah,
people, the sort of blurred lines between reality and the character were so closely matched. I think for me, yeah, whether it's having an affair with Trish Stratus and divorcing his wife Linda on the actual yeah, it's in character, it wasn't real, but the other stuff with Stephanie as well when he was a match against with himself against Stephanie.
no mercy. That
Um,
was, yeah, I remember.
yeah, just like all that really sort of cringy stuff he used to do as
Yeah,
well, and the stuff he used to get badly wrong, and it would backfire on him. But and of course, Joe, the You're Fired stuff was to me, I thought it's hilarious, like him actually publicly firing people and.
mm,
It amused me at the same time. I wanted him to get his comeuppance, but he could show that side to his character, which is a little bit more benevolent. But I think no one really believed it. It was like he was just putting on a face until he finally turned back to being a villain.
mm.
You're
I think
fired.
I think with all the stuff and with all the documentaries we've watched over the years, the Netflix stuff, I've seen a lot of shit on YouTube as well. The stuff he'd get up to and do outside of the ring as well, away from the actual real storyline. Then yeah, you can also class him in that villain category. Obviously, with all the allegations and stuff of late as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It just adds to it all as a whole. So yeah, that to be honest is a good shout. It's outside the box. And technically, WWE is a TV show at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
Timothy.
Yes, I went for Finn Kelly. So the reasons are
Fucking
that.
dickhead.
So coming back to The Walking,
Yeah.
I watched The Walking Dead when it was on. I think it was on Channel 5 at first in the UK. Like when it started to play in the UK. I watched the first series, probably the first series or two. I can't actually remember. I didn't get around to it fully when this guy came into it, but I knew that people, when he was mentioned in passing by people having a conversation about him, he was a diabolical person, and it's Negan. So, have you guys watched The Walking Dead? I can't remember if you guys watched The Walking Dead or not.
I haven't,
No.
but I did watch that actual episode. You know, everyone was banging on about the episode, weren't they? When
Yeah.
that famous episode where he did what he did. So I actually watched it with my mate at the time. That was the only episode of Walking Dead I've ever watched in my life. But yeah, I do. I know the guy you're talking about.
It's the guy who plays him, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I mean, he's been in a few films. He was in the Watchmen. I don't know who he actually played by name, but I know the character. But I can't remember the face of the character that he played. But anyway, he's been in a few bits here and there. And when he first came onto the scene, the main reason why he's come onto the scene is because Rick and his mob have been kind of trapped in things that they're trying to do. Like a lot of their stuff's been nicked and so on and so forth. And they think that they've basically come across Negan, and one of them is pregnant. One of the people that Rick is with is pregnant, and because they've killed quite a few of Negan's mates, his army, he's basically said, "I'm going to have to kill two of you." And he doesn't say who he's going to kill, but he basically gives a monologue throughout the whole episode as to his character. And he is just so screwed in the head. He's funny and horrible at the same time. Some of the things that he says are just like outrageous. And even when I was watching it with my missus, she would see me with a smirk on my face when somebody was doing some of the most horrific things. A lot of the hardened characters in that program, like oh my god, the fucking guy with the crossbow. Oh my god, Daryl Nixon. He's been in it since he was in it from series one. He's got his own little spin-off series now. The spin-off series are all fucking terrible, and Negan's got his own one, but they're all terrible. And he was a hardened bloke. He's like a redneck, so on and so forth. And Negan basically broke him down to be his little bitch. I would recommend just watching that one episode out of the whole of The Walking Dead. Every single episode, I would recommend just watching that one episode, and then you'll be hooked, and you just want to see how the whole thing plays out. Yeah, Rick's a pussy for bending over backwards for him, but fair enough. He did try to kill him, but he nursed him back to health at the same time. Yeah, I'll give him his plaudits. Lucille. Look up Lucille, and then you'll see how serious Negan is.
I mean, I've seen a lot of the Negan characters. Sorry, Simon. I've seen a lot of the guy who plays Negan in other TV shows, and you just actually reminded me he was in another show, which I'm going to give a special mention to it for another villain. But yeah, he's a good actor. He's a really good actor, and I think he portrayed that role really well, even with his facial hair and the way his hair, slicked back. So yeah, but again, I just watched that one episode and that was it. But I never really got into The Walking Dead as a whole.
Is it on BBC?
No, it was on. What's it on now? I think it's on Disney. Did we watch it on Disney Plus?
Amazon Prime?
No, I don't think it's Amazon Prime. Oh, I need to look. I can't remember, but it used to be on Channel 5. I'm pretty sure it was on Channel 5. That was when I was living with my parents still. So you're talking about 10,
Yeah,
15 years ago.
because
Let me have a little look, mate, and I'll get back to
I don't know if you guys have been to any theme parks recently. But I went a few years ago to Fort Park, yeah, and there's a ride called Walking Dead.
Oh,
So
really.
it's probably based on that. I imagine that the whole yeah, the rights and all that sort of stuff reserved for them.
Mm, okay. It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, if you got Disney Plus, it ran from 2010 to 2022.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I've
the
heard
late,
good things about it, but yeah,
yeah,
it might be one check out. Yeah,
the later series after Negan are pretty shit, but I would still watch it up to Negan, and then you'll just be stuck in it, mate.
yeah,
I've got a special mention, as I mentioned, for the villain, and I didn't want to mention it while I did my selection, just in case one of you guys might have had it, but obviously, as you haven't, did any of you guys watch The Boys?
No.
no,
Oh, mate, you guys are missing out. You need to watch that TV show. It's so fucking good. But there's a character in it called Homelander. You might have heard of him just from outside of it anyway, but him as a villain, he's like basically similar to Superman. Obviously, it's about superheroes, and he's got similar powers, super strength. He can fly. He's got lasers in his eyes. He's such an evil bastard. Like he's so evil. I mean, the only reason I didn't choose him as my selection because I wanted to think outside the box and choose a selection like that. Like that's all for Finn Kelly. But you guys need to watch The Boys because it's a great TV show first of all, but the way he portrays that role as a villain, but he's obviously meant to be a superhero. You know, people are meant to look up to him, but he's got so many problems. He's so evil. You know, he just kills at will, doesn't really give a shit. You know, he's such a good villain in terms of a TV show. So yeah, if you guys get time, just watch a couple of episodes of it. That's all I'll say, and you won't regret it.
Is
yeah,
that the one with Carl Urban?
Yeah, and he plays that role brilliantly as well. I got to say, Carl Urban. You know, I didn't really know much of him apart from the Judge Dredd movie that he was in.
Yeah, piece of
But
shit.
but trust me, in the boys, I mean, I would say that's what makes him most recognizable. If anything, in all honesty, he he plays this character with a British a horrible Cockney accent, but he actually goes really well. And yeah, he's just a great actor and a great character for that role. So yeah, like I said, guys, just watch one or two episodes if you get the chance. You won't regret it. It is on Amazon Prime, but
yeah.
you know you can just download it, or even if you want, I'll bloody send it to you, and then you can watch it wherever you want to watch it. But yeah, it's really good.
Cool.
Really?
Next question. I believe we have in a movie or a TV show. Oh, sorry, in a movie. So best hero from movie, best villain from movie. I'll go again first. So I went a bit boring with my selection and pretty generic because couldn't really think of someone in all honesty. But the first person who came to mind was Superman. I didn't go with a specific movie. Now, obviously, what's the guy's name? Is it Christopher Reeve or what was his name?
Yeah, Christopher Reeve. Yeah,
From back in the day, obviously, the big hero, not evil in any way, and all that jazz. But obviously, from more recent times, Henry Cavill, even Brandon Routh, the Superman film, the one-off one that they did, yeah, I mean, we really can't really sum up any better. It's Superman at the end of the day. He doesn't kill anyone. He tries to protect people. You know, the big old hero. Pretty boring, generic person to choose, but yeah.
what did you think of the? I don't know if you guys can remember this, but what did you think of a TV series with Terry Hatcher played Lois, and then you had Dean Cain
Dean Cain,
playing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember when I was younger, back in the day. I believe it used to come on after The Simpsons on BBC Two. Um,
did it? Because I thought it's Saturday morning to me.
I remember it coming on before or after Simpsons on BBC Two back in the day. That's the only reason I know of it.
Yeah.
So it must have been after Simpsons because they also used to at some point do Malcolm in the Middle after Simpsons as well. So that was the only reason why I knew of it. And I think we used to watch the odd episode here and there, but we were never really interested in it. It was more maybe we were just too lazy to change the channel. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was a fan. Of course, I watched Smallville. I was a huge fan of Smallville.
Yeah.
Even Supergirl for the first one or two seasons before it got cringeworthy and fucking gay. But before that, it was Smallville was my favorite Superman TV show. Let's put it that way.
It's,
Guess how
it's
old,
a good choice.
guess how old Kane is now?
Dean Cain.
52.
No, well, Dean Cain. I'm going to say he's got 61.
Oh, close. 59. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I was surprised he's 59 years old. Really good shout, Simon. That was over, but a really good shout.
What the TV series I just remember being on Saturday morning, after like live and kicking on BBC or whatever it was, and there's other stuff like we talked about like Aladdin and all that, and then that would come on around about sort of 8 in the morning, maybe 9 in the morning.
Yeah, in the weekends. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was obviously being on at that time, it's going to be about as family orientated as you can get, but at the same time, you can see like the villains and like the certain characters that you'd be a young kid watching that, like just him being in that sort of that normal Clark Kent persona, and then going to Superman. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, really.
McSweeney, your selection, please.
And again, I don't think anyone will be too surprised based on previous episodes, but James Bond, 007.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think whenever you probably ask, if you were to ask 100 people that aren't British or aren't from the UK, whatever, the most kind of distinguishable character or like most quintessentially British character in movies, particularly hero, would be James Bond. Really, I think he's the guy that, again, like Jack Bauer, he's trying to save the world. He's doing it at all costs. He's going against authority. He's doing it. I'll say he does it with more of a swagger, a bit more of a swagger and arrogance. Whereas I think Jack Bauer's a bit more, I don't know, like I said to you, he's not so much this kind of cocky, confident persona. He's more a bit more rugged. Whereas obviously with James Bond, you see that kind of the way he used to dress, and Sean Connery, how it all started through to like Daniel Craig, which is the more sort of rugged version of him. But there was still that rugged side and also the very professional, slick character. But yeah, I think James Bond with one-liners, the way he interacts with people. He's very versatile in his approach to things like the stuff that you haven't even thought of, that he'll just put out the bag on the spot. He'll get out of these ridiculous situations that he shouldn't find himself in, but he does, and it's like he's almost guaranteed to come unstuck, and he manages to get out of it. I think that's probably a side of him I think is the most kind of memorable part, where, like I said to you, in the Tomorrow Never Dies, he's in that car park and they're trying to trash his car. And of course, then he gets the gadget, he gets in the back of the car, and he's people are firing like rockets at him and machine guns and the rest of it, flamethrowers, and he just manages to swerve it in such kind of I say nonchalant fashion. Like it's like his hair never gets out of place in some of these movies, and you sort of think it's ridiculous, but that's just who he is. That's who he is, and how he carries himself. I think he's just he'd definitely be my favourite.
Tom?
Probably along the same lines as Simon. I mean, James Bond, he was a quintessential Brit. He oozed class, always wore a suit. He was always saving the world, but it felt like he was saving the Brits, really. It felt like he was saving the UK. Eventually, there were other then spy agencies involved, like the CIA, and then other ones across the world. I'm trying to think why him and Jack Bauer would be along the same lines. Like they're spies. They go undercover. They've also got long running series or film. I mean, there's like nearly 30 films now in the James Bond series. And then there's 6 or 7 series in Jack Bauer, then 24 episodes in each one, apart from the one when he was in the UK. It kind of like embeds it in their head that they just smash the living shit out of whatever they do to save their lives and save the lives of those that they love, and they do their job properly, and so on and so forth. I'd say the only difference is that James Bond can do it in a suit and not give a shit and can shag all the birds, but then Jack Bauer just wants to crack on and get it all done in one day. He doesn't want to do it over a week. He wants to do it in one day. He wants to smash it out of the park. A shout out as well. I mean, not controversial necessarily, but Ripley in the Alien films, she kicked ass. I mean, aliens were the most impossible creatures to kill, and she managed to find a way. She was in countless films for it as well. The first female lead, first female hero as well. I think from memory. I mean, she absolutely smashed it. There's others out there, probably Iron Man, any of the Avengers. Yeah, can't think of anyone else to be honest.
There's loads out there, but again, it is hard to choose on. And when I was looking into it, Ripley did come up. Obviously, with Sigourney Weaver, who played her. So there's loads out there, but I guess it's personal preference. Obviously, James Bond for you guys, you know.
Yeah,
I've just thought of one. Bloody John McClane from the Die Hard.
Oh yeah,
yeah. His name came
I
up as well.
completely forgot about that one. That's an obvious one.
John McClane. Yeah.
It's an obvious one for me.
Okay,
Anyway,
let's go on to the more interesting topic of the villain of a movie. Now, I've gone for one which I have discussed before, the T-1000 from Terminator 2. For me, again, one of the best villains which I remember coming across. Just, going and doing whatever needs to happen, killing people at will, to obviously get to his target. At the end of the day, it was a machine. Well, how can you describe that character? Obviously, liquid metal, whatever, technically still a machine. But yeah, it's just the way that character, I keep forgetting his name, something Patrick, played that role, the way he portrayed that role of the T-1000, his facial expressions, the way he ran, the way, changing his body parts into weapons. It was just a great, great villain. I was actually even contemplating of doing Arnold as my greatest hero, actually, who obviously was battling against him. But obviously Arnold was their enemy in the first Terminator because he was the Terminator sent back to kill Sarah Connor. So, but yeah, I just think that character, that role is just iconic from Terminator 2. The movie itself is iconic, and a lot of reasons of why it was so great. The movie, not just Arnold, but I think the T-1000 is like one of the best things about that movie, if not the best thing. So yeah, that's my selection, the T-1000. I have got a few memorable. Fucking hell, what the hell is the phrase, man?
Mentions.
Honorable mentions. Fucking hell.
honorable mention.
Oh yeah. So I'll mention them at the end, just in case one of you guys have them. But yeah, T-1000 for me. McSweeney, your selection, please.
I'm going with the Joker. Yeah,
Ooh.
Jack Napier. Obviously, that was his original name, but yeah, the Joker. Mainly because watching the Batman film, the one from 1989, but I think I probably would have been about 8 or 9 at the time, so it'd been around best part of a decade. But just like the whole way Jack Nicholson played him, and I'd obviously played the Nintendo game, the NES game, so I knew what this character was about. Like he kills in that particular iteration of Batman, he kills Bruce Wayne's parents. So obviously that's the first pretty bad thing he does. But I think he tries to double cross someone. I think he's part of a gang. He's a mobster, and he tries to double cross one of it. I think the head honcho there, and that's when he obviously turns into Joker because he falls into that great big container, isn't he? With all his chemicals. So that's when he becomes all sort of deranged and starts wearing purple suits, and he's got a white face and all the rest of it, all the makeup on. But yeah, I think that's the first scary villain, and it's still probably to this day the most scary villain I've seen in any film. The way that then Heath Ledger obviously came into the role for Dark Knight, I was thinking at the time, I was like, so you've got a guy that's he's like an Aussie, almost like a very sort of good-looking Aussie, almost like a surfer, isn't he? Like a lad you expect to be down at Bondi Beach or somewhere playing the Joker, and you think, how's that going to work? And then he absolutely smashes it. And sadly, that's to be his last role. But yeah, the way he played it, I thought was magnificent. Just even more psychopathic, and the whole scene with the hospital, which I think apparently wasn't meant to. The whole, he sets fire to the hospital.
Yeah, the explosion didn't go off or something, didn't it? Properly, then he looks back. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
all unscripted. Yeah,
unscripted, but like how good was that? Like that,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, just accidental success really, and well, accidental. I say the way he obviously played it wasn't accidental,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I just thought he's absolutely superb, and then of course I watched the Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix on a flight from Hong Kong to Melbourne, and he takes it to another level as well. So the character's just got so many different sides to him. Half of that film I spent sort of laughing nervously, thinking I shouldn't find this funny, but I am. The other half I thought, yeah, now you are absolutely taking it to another level. You're just you're sick to the core.
Mm.
And I think I think Joaquin Phoenix is good at playing a bad guy anyway, but obviously remember from Gladiator, but yeah, I think the Joker as a whole sort of part is my favorite villain in the movie.
I think in comparison between like Jack Nicholson and then when you had Heath Ledger playing it, I mean, even
Yeah.
the way Heath Ledger, messy hair, messy makeup, I think that also the difference in the two characters, a bit more crazy, a bit more wild, that also played a part. And let's not forget your favorite gif of Nicholson laughing as
Oh
well.
yeah, mate. Yeah, yeah. That will never get off of me. I know people probably sick to death of it, but you know me.
Timothy, your selection, please.
I've got three, to be honest, because I really struggle to actually think of one on top. Give me one second. Hang on.
One day, if one of his three is going to be one of my honorable mentions, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to say them and then you can go yay or nay?
No, 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 just go with your number one selection first.
Okay, cool. So number one for me would be Thanos. Um,
Oh,
I'd
purple
say,
dick.
yeah, that geezer, big old purple dick geezer. To have the when the when the first film came out of the Infinity Wars, and what happened at the end. The amount of people that came out of the cinemas going, "Oh my god, he's actually done it! Oh my god!" So they like people really took it to heart. What happened in the
Mhm.
fucking film? Um, what he'd done is he'd obviously got the stones, and then he clicked his fingers, and then sorry,
God,
half of the
blimey,
universe.
steady on love.
Like
Sorry,
Dinos, mate.
and then half of the universe basically just went blip. It was a random selection of who actually went and so on and so forth. And the main reason why he done it is I actually like the idea of fucking hell. Excuse me. Actually like the idea is because the universe was too overpopulated there, so creatures needed to go. So then there would then be enough food and water and so on and so forth. Um, Josh Brolin, who played him, he's obviously been
Mm.
around since the Goonies films. I mean, if you don't know what the Goonies is, then have a little Google. Um, he's been around for ages. He's been around fucking donkeys. And when this film came out, and he was doing the promos, and he was doing the top around the world to promote the film, fans were booing him because they genuinely thought that he was a bit of a tosser because of the character that he played. He wasn't. He's a genuinely nice guy. He's all right. But yeah, to have the audacity to do it and was nuts. He's got his own army. Obviously, there was the second film, which was Endgame, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, and again,
Yeah, that came out. Endgame, I thought was a good film. Wasn't as good as the um, first parter. But anyway, next in the list is a guy from Inglorious Bastards. Have you, have you guys watched that film?
I've watched some of it. I didn't finish it because it was on in the background.
yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
watched it actually.
Hans Lander. So he's a Nazi officer who has to pick up all of the Jews that have escaped around France and Christopher Waltz, who was a villain in the James Bond world as well, and he was a brilliant villain. Just the audacity to be that character and be an absolutely horrible person in what you do, but he's just a cheeky chappy as well in what he does. Brilliant actor, quality. The kind of person that you're playing as well was obviously a real world twat, so you got to be a real world twat yourself, and he just puts on a persona really, really well. Almost like the Joker and Heath Ledger. I knew that he was a bit of a he was a bit of a joker when he was actually the Joker himself. He was kind of the kind of person who doesn't down their tools when they're done for the day or done a scene. He just wants to be that character. Lastly, I can't remember how to pronounce his second name, but Anton from No Country for Old Men. You guys watched that before?
Nope.
No, I've heard good things about it. Have you seen it, Rich?
Nope, not seen it.
So Josh Brolin is the hero per se in it. He's played by Javier Bardem or Bardem. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Bardem, yeah.
Bardem. That's
Ralph Silver, yeah.
yeah. And that's the one. Again, he's the villain in the James Bond world. He plays an assassin in this film, and he's so creepy and so quiet in what it's weird to describe. I mean, a lot of people if you do something to him, if you're in a shop and you do something to him with your cheeky whatever, he'll get out a coin, he'll flip a coin, and then by that coin flip, he'll then suss out whether you're going to die or not, whether you're going to die or live. Some of the acting that he does is very minimal. The dialogue in it, but the actions that he does just speak volumes as the character that he actually is. I'd recommend watching it. It's one of those films where there's not a lot of dialogue. It's a lot more action, but the actors in it themselves, with him, Josh Brolin, Tommy Lee Jones, Woody Harrelson, and there's another famous person I can't remember now. But brilliant film, brilliant actors.
Honorable mention I forgot about, and I probably would change this to my hero, Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible series. I forgot about him. But yeah, he's one. Honorable mentions for villains. I've had to mention Voldemort because he was always an evil bastard in the Harry Potter films, and Palpatine, Mr. Palpatine from Star Wars. So yeah, those are two honorable mentions which I thought I'd also mention. Okay, best hero within sports. No surprise, I've gone for a Chelsea player. I was thinking about quite a few people, but for me, it's got to be Drogba because of all the times, as you both know, won us games, won us trophies, scoring in finals, the big header in the Champions League, the penalty right at the end. I mean, you guys know the story. In terms of a hero within a sports team, it's got to be him. I can't look any further than him. Of course, there's other players in the team, but yeah, he's the one who stands out. What about you, McSweeney?
Yeah, well, it was I was sort of going to angle towards football, but I've gone more for football in my villain actually. Best villain within sports, but I've actually gone for Andy Murray. I just think again that the way he carried himself under a lot of pressure to achieve things that a British man hadn't done for 70 odd years, winning Wimbledon, obviously winning twice, and then winning a major, first British male to win a major since Fred Perry, world number one, and all the trials and tribulations he put his body through to get to that, and then sadly, after that it took its toll, and he couldn't stay there because of how badly worn down his hip was. But even just coming back and just competing for another 4 or 5 years, I thought was a testament to his character. But yeah, Davis Cup, gold medals at the Olympics. Just the matches as well, like coming from 2 sets down, I think he's still got the record as being the most prolific in terms of being 2 sets down and winning matches out of everyone. So yeah, just you can't really sort of praise the guy enough. And I think for me, just watching his matches, despite him being Scottish, I'm English.
Mm.
Amazing. I can't really get as excited about. I still love tennis. I still love certain characters and that, but just the way he used to just never give up. And yeah, I just thought it was like the sort of British spirit right there. And then watch it every time, and he always do some bit of trickery as well, and so many different facets to his game. But yeah, Andy Murray for me.
Tom?
Yeah, looking away from football, to be honest, I'd probably use football for my villain. But should Johnny Wilkinson for the 2003 drop kick to win England the World Cup was, I
Drop
mean, that
kick? Is this wrestling?
the, the fuck up, goal kick something.
Drop goal, mate. Drop goal.
Drop kick, mate. It doesn't matter. He still kicked it. It's fine.
Missile
He
drop kick.
dropped it and he kicked it. What you do? It's fine. That team in general, Lawrence Di Lalio, Martin Johnson, Robinson, and then Clive Woodward at the helm. I mean, it's something that the English never shut the fuck up about, and that was like 22 years ago. So he's got to be a hero in some way, shape or form. I know he doesn't do the media circus as much as others do. I think he's on the BBC every now and then, maybe TNT Sport, but yeah, legend for what he did.
Yeah.
Like that.
Villain. Okay, so I've gone with one of two. I've gone for in terms of football. Luis Suarez was always a bit of a cunt, biting people and all sorts. So he's there. I've also gone with Conor McGregor. Again, he was not just for what he did within MMA, but also outside of MMA. He's a bit of a scumbag. Court cases here and there, hitting old men in pubs, rape this, rape that. Yeah, he's just a bit of a scumbag, basically. And people love to hate him. I couldn't wait until he got beat or knocked out or whatever, submitted by Nate Diaz. I remember the first time. And yeah, Luis Suarez again, multiple serial offender with the biting and the diving, just someone you looked at and you thought scumbag. Um, I do want to mention also, like, someone who was a villain in many people's eyes, apart from Chelsea fans, was Diego Costa. We loved him as Chelsea fans. I fucking loved him. I bought 2 or 3 shirts with his name on the back because I adored him that much, and he was amazing for us. But everyone else used to hate him, but they admired what a great player he was. So, yeah, those are my selections. What about you, Simon?
Yeah, well, I've got gone with football as I kind of alluded to a minute ago, but I'm hoping that Tom might go down my train of thought here. Roy Keane.
Yeah.
But Roy Keane to me, I mean, less now because obviously he's like also a bit more of a sort of grumpy old uncle type character now, isn't he? Or like,
Mm,
that bloke that's always a bit miserable in a group of people, but when he's doing his punditry, but like when he was a player and obviously growing up, at school, there's like so many Man United fans and in your face and like and Arsenal fans as well. But with them, those two teams winning a lot of stuff back then, and particularly Man United's like, there's certain players for Man United I did admire, like Beckham and that. Like Beckham was a bit, again, stuff he did for England, I thought, a bit irresponsible, but with Roy Keane, it was like him and Patrick Vieira. He's going to be my honorable mention, Patrick Vieira, because I couldn't stand the bloke. But Roy Keane, I think more so because of the way he conducted himself in Japan in 2002 at the World Cup. I get that he was trying to kind of, the standards of the team, and he was trying to make sure they're the best chance of doing well at the World Cup. But they were never going to win it, were they, Tom? I mean, they had a good chance of doing well, but really good players back then. That whole squad was very
mm,
gifted. But I just thought it was a bit selfish of him. But I suppose he was coming from a juggernaut like Man United under Ferguson, winning stuff, and with Republic of Ireland under Mick McCarthy, who back then was a fairly youngish manager. I think he was at Millwall for a bit. I just thought he could have just bit his tongue a bit and just got on with it. And yeah, it's just the sort of character he was, getting sent off and I used to love it. And like so Dennis Wise used to go toe to toe with him, and it was at that time with Alan Shearer as well. He swiped at him. I just thought the way he conducted himself was just like lacking in any class. I know
Yeah,
he was a terrier. He was a winner. He's a warrior. But as a player, I just absolutely hated the guy.
bit
Absolutely
of a
hated the guy.
scumbag. Yeah, just a
It,
scumbag.
yeah, a bit like a just like little man syndrome as well. Like
Yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
I know, but that sort of like I'm gonna have to try and level it up by being an arsehole. Um,
Mm.
so on that note, I'm gonna hand over to Tom.
Guess who I picked?
Mr.
Guess
Keane
who I
as well.
picked?
Not Roy
Roy
Keane,
Keane.
no.
I did. I did.
Yes.
Roy Keane, yeah. I mean, it's kind of that past and present kind of mentality because I remember him just about when he was playing football, and I remember him now because he's obviously a pundit. Back in the day, fortunately, he was a fantastic player, but he was a fantastic player with a very short fuse. And he was that kind of bloke who you would want to fight your corner if it kicked off, and he would always fight your corner. Um, yeah, over in Saigon. No, it wasn't Saigon. Oh my God, what
So
was it called?
Saipan.
That's the one. Um, very the it was a team of built of brilliant individuals. I mean, you had him. Who did Duff did Duff even play back then?
Yeah, he was at Blackburn, wasn't he, before
He
he
was
came
at
to us?
Blackburn
Yeah,
before he came. Yeah,
Yeah.
Robbie Keane and Niall Quinn and Steve Finnan and Jay Gibbon. I mean, they're all. I could go through the whole squad,
Ian
but
Hart, Stephen Reid. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, all brilliant players, and there'll probably never be an Irish team like that ever again because they're all
yeah.
kind of full up with championship players now. But Mick McCarthy had. It, they could have been one of those Turkish teams or those Ivory Coast teams or like Ghana team that is full of brilliant players. They got a lot of passion and they got a national coach that can guide them through because they have the team to make it. But when you got someone who is unofficially a player representative, let's say, in Roy Keane, if he wants something, it has to go that way, or else you're just gonna hear it until the end of fucking time. And he would write novels about you being an absolute pillock because of the quality of the hotel and quality of the training grounds. Then that was the reason why you guys weren't able to perform to your likability. But they had a brilliant World Cup anyway. They had a fantastic World Cup.
Yeah.
I
Should have
mean,
beaten Spain, really. I know Spain had a few disallowed goals, but they should have
hmm.
really maybe edged that game maybe on penalties or just nick a goal.
Yeah, and so it was just a dark cloud over a brilliant World Cup for the country itself. He had his run-ins with Patrick Vieira, obviously. He had his run-ins with everyone really. I mean, there was no one who wasn't part of who wasn't a picture on his wall where darts are being thrown at it. For punditry, I mean, he's just brilliant. He wants to have a pop at every single person. He wants to have a pop at everyone out there, which is brilliant. Every kind of fellow pundit or guest pundit that they bring in is either a former teammate or someone who he's had a running with, and they always kind of bounce off each other. Now he's just kind of known for that ex-footballer who's got a bit of attitude and is like a little bit grumpy, but he wasn't that kind of person. He was a brilliant footballer, and he kind of brought that annoyance as well of back in the late noughties, back in the early noughties when they had that rivalry with Arsenal. They were an annoyingly brilliant team, and he was at the centre of that team as well because he was the captain, and it fucked me off how much they won and how good they were because they were united as a team. And other shout outs probably like Luis Suarez and Diego Costa and any other twat out there who just has a bit of attitude about them.
Joey Barton.
Joey Barton, I mean, I don't even want to give him a mention because he's a fucking killer.
Everything about him, yeah. Bobby Savage.
Scumbag. Vinnie Jones when he used to play as well. I mean, any
But he's
of the
ex-Chelsea, so we can let him off. Yeah.
Any of the crazy gang and mob could be part of that list. Even Gattuso and
yes, yeah. I hated that guy. Even him squaring up to Joe Jordan, who's about half a foot
Joe
taller.
Jordan. Yeah, he fucking nutted
smashed
him,
his
didn't
glasses, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Harry Redknapp was like, "Oh yeah, I think he's probably picked a fight with the wrong person because Joe Jordan's called Jaws."
Yeah.
The nickname's Jaws.
He was a fucking nutter. He was the last guy I wanted to send away.
To be honest, there was loads of them. I mean, even Pepe. You know, I'm there is one other dickhead who I didn't even want to waste my breath on, but you know, he had the nickname Quiverlip. Yeah, that cunt. I couldn't stand him either. Quiverlip. You know, they Quiver. He used to play for United, defender, scumbag, drugs cheat. couldn't stand him.
God, yeah.
Yeah, don't even want to waste my breath saying his
I
name.
wouldn't say he's a villain, like he's just a knobhead. Yeah,
he's just a cunt. Yeah, I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
I know we've gone over an hour, so I want to keep the last question short and sweet. So yeah, hero you had growing up. I mean, no surprise I've gone for a footballer, but I did want to also mention a cricketer. Frank Lampard, you know, fucking love Frank, super fat Frank. You know, the amount of times he scored a goal for us and won us a game, and you know, just all the goals he got from midfield, fucking legend. And even though he came to us twice and sort of didn't do that great, did in his first season, but you know, you can never hate him. You know, we'll always love him for all the moments of joy he brought me growing up as a kid, especially. So yeah, super fat Frank got to be one of my heroes growing up, and I've gone for Shane Warne as well. And the reason I've gone for Shane Warne, growing up as a kid, I also loved cricket, and I used to love the Australian cricket team, and I still do. And just watching him bowl, his spin bowling. I remember I used to go to the park every Sunday as well, go to the cricket nets, and I'll just be there bowling every delivery, trying to emulate him, pretending, you know, I'm like Shane Warne on a bowl leg spin. You know, it was just amazing watching him bowl and what he could do, the way he made the ball spin more than anyone else. So yeah, those two are my selections for, if you can call them heroes growing up. But yeah, I really looked up to them and was in awe of them basically. The way you, McSweeney?
Yeah, gone footballer. The whole package. Gianluca Vialli.
Oh,
Just
Vialli.
world class footballer coming to us in '96 after he won the Champions League with Juventus, and obviously done well at Sampdoria as well before that. But that was like my early memories of following Chelsea, and you know how he adapted then from being fantastic. I think his record for us was almost 1-2, and you consider that was the end of his career, like pretty phenomenal. But then to go from that to player manager, and I think within a few weeks to a month or so, we won the Coca-Cola Cup back then. Is it called? Obviously, it's called Carabao Cup now. But yeah, I remember him playing himself and like just scoring against Arsenal, and back then that was a massive thing, scoring against Arsenal because we never used to beat them. But yeah, just the dignity of the man, the way he used to sort of carry himself. Yeah, just all round package of being that sort of role model. I think for young people growing up, picked up the language really quickly as well. And I think he actually ended up living in London long term. So yeah, obviously devastated when he passed away after a long battle with cancer. But yeah, I think that the tributes to him on that day. I mentioned it on the previous episode, I think, but even Graham Souness was in tears talking about him when they were both at Sampdoria. And yeah, I just think that the guy's legacy will live on forever, and a big part of Chelsea where they're at now is down to him and Ruud Gullit and Glenn Hoddle, etc. You can't have a Chelsea of present day without thinking back to then. And I think the guy was an absolute legend, awesome.
Timothy?
Probably taking a bit of both what you guys have mentioned, Lampard and JT. To be honest, since I started to watch football and they were in the squad, I used to think that they were like related because they looked the exact same. They sounded the exact same. I thought that they were brothers who play for Chelsea, and I thought it was brilliant. But then obviously they're not because they've got two different fucking names. But apart from, anyway. they both had that mentality of being leaders, of being liked, of like not even being liked by just their teammates, but they were liked and loved by tens of hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Around the world, yeah. They, whenever they had to wear the armband, they always wore it with pride. It was always their heart on their sleeves. Whenever they spoke, it was open and honest, whether they won or whether they lost or whether they drew. Lampard obviously then went on to have Chelsea's highest goal scoring records. Terry had his moments in the media, whether it be colourful language or colourful acts with ex teammates' wives, kind of thing. So it's shrouded in a little bit of controversy there, but he was still hitting well like above his waist anyway. So whatever. Yeah, they were top blokes, loved by me. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and we'll do the Formula One podcast. So yeah, McSweeney, watch the movie if you get time.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty to discuss. I know it'll be more from Tom and myself. But yeah, we'll see everyone back in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, I'm going to give you both a grilling anyway, so don't worry about that.
All right, guys,
Cheers,
have a good one.
boys.
See you in 2 weeks.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.